To infinity and your budget.
Hello, this is KRBrickBot, and this is a terribly late review of one of Young Toys' short-lived toy properties, Metalions Mini Infinity. I say short-lived because most of Young Toys' new recent properties have like 2 seasons and like 2 major waves of toys, and that's it, like a definitive end. And Metalions is one of them, with season 2 wrapping up in early 2020. So Metalions is essentially an entire rehash of rehashing and retooling all the mecha toys from one of Young Toys' Retrobot's other toy lines, Biclons. Whereas Biclons' focus was on a family dynamic of 5, as they do, except the Biclons are giant mecha. Metalions is a completely different story. It's like I would describe it as in the future, globe-trotting for magical stone artifacts with some ham-handed environmentalism. And the Metalions are small, sentient machines themselves. Which, by the way, has an English dub, but Biclons didn't get an English dub, probably because of Metalions. On to the toy itself. This is a Metalions original mold. This was created specifically for Metalions. So this Mini Infinity consists of the 5 main bots: Ursa, Scorpio, Aries, Taurus, Leo. They're also available as single packs, but there's also this all 5 in 1, so that's the cheaper option. Multilingual. Let's summon Mini Infinity by gathering the 5 mini Metalions. And in 5 more different languages. Some rather thin cardboard. 2019 September. GFT Group Limited. The window's kind of popping off. Yeah, but this is pretty simple white. QR code for YouTube. And some white renders and such. Okay, now to open this thing. This is Leo, the de facto main character, because he's a lion and he's red. A very nice likeness to the overall character model. All the permanently molded stuff in here, like this is the robot chest. Suspiciously bicycle-shaped robot head thing, that's just a lump. On the back, a little thruster thing with an obvious port. And because this thing doesn't have the burden of even each of these legs having to be half an arm, whether manual or automatic, they sculpted these legs to be their own individual legs, and they do look pretty great. This one is kind of slightly loose on its pin hinge. But yeah, they're all nice ball sockets that are permanent 90 degrees each. But there is some painting, very nice painting going around here. So on his toes and his sides, and the entire torso here is all painted up red. Yeah, this entire back section is red on black. Gold. Little ears. And an opening mouth. Yeah, it's a very posable little mecha lion thing. And Leo's the only one to get his own accessories. Blazing Wings, Metalion original power-up things. And this is the only toy that has these blazing wings. Blazing Wing can be detachable. In other words, wings can be detached or detachable wings. So there are these black holes on either end on which you can plug those little swords in. A lion with wings. It is not a manticore. So I suppose he could just run up and just go spinning to slash. Coincidentally, these shafts also fit in the very hollow space on the back of his legs. Nice and snug. I suppose you could also do it on the rear legs. Yeah, so you can have this look. Maybe a gliding mode or just a more direct frontal attack. Now, if he also had those little gun accessories as well. Aries, the token female of the group. And as you can see, it's a very sizable robotic ram. Her head is very ramulous with those curved silver horns that end on a not rubbery point. Yeah, these are solid plastic and are not bicycle horns. And she has a little opening mouth. Bitty. Speaking of bicycle, even though this is like a completely new sculpt, they still had to put some bicycle motifs in here, which really doesn't make sense in the brand new reboot or whatever. Like this drive chain on the neck, right here and here, and the shins have these bicycle spoke-like gear things. Nothing else quite bicycle-y about it. Yeah, but she does have hooves on these piston suspensions with high heels. Rams with high heels. So little painted red accents instead of and not pink accents because that would be way too girly. And yeah, the legs are decently posable, just on straight hinges. You could have her going on a trot, or back bucking, or standing on her legs for whatever antics she gets into. And yeah, the head goes up that much for the transforming foot, or a face plant. Taurus, the Tankey Ball, the tanky orange robotic bull, with appropriately bullish horns to boot, and not the extremely stylized handlebar horns, handbull bars. Pretty solid plastic, not the cheap soft rubber, with an opening mouth and a very nice neck. It still has some remnants of the bicycle motif on his gear wheel shins and his wireframe on the side here, and also on the inside with these very irregular shaped things that would be auto-transforming legs or manual legs. So yeah, articulation is exactly the same as Aries, just on the simple swivel for all four legs. More big clompers. Scorpio, a robotic scorpion in fetching midnight blue. I guess black is a little too dark and realistic for a robotic scorpion. The head is still derpy as ever. Very circular eyes. At least those are not so derpy in the cartoon. Obvious bulge here, what looks like a robot head. And a stinger tail that doesn't go very far, but that's why it has a blaster. Again, it still has some suspiciously bicycle-like things like drive chains on these claw hinges and on the tail. The legs are all one solid piece, so no individual articulated toes, but they do have claws, individually articulated claws. 2 hinges. Basic emotes. And the tail's on a swivel. And the head by design is just, it can cock to one side. Cocky little scorpion. And there's some nice yellow paint on it, like on the tail and claws, top here, and bicycle trim, and silver paint throughout. This one got sloppy. Ursa, the big silver bear, the big silver robo bear, and at a slightly higher price point because look at the size of this thing. So it is very articulated as well, with ratcheted paws and a knee joint. A very robotic looking face, little ears, an opening mouth. There's red accent paint throughout this whole thing. There's like even in the tiniest of spaces. Slightly off shot here though. Honestly, silver paint with silver plastic is just really off-putting in my opinion. I guess it's because this is black plastic, they put it on silver here, but what about the chest? Why did they need to do it on the chest? Because this was also gang molded in black? They couldn't have had separate silver? If this was Biclons, this is like the most accurate scaled thing compared to them, but this is not Biclon, so the actual scale would be more like this. Yeah, they're just little guys that can be ridden by a kid. Ursa is the only one of the Infinity Warriors that can assume a robot mode. Yeah, so this is not official for this set, but you can kind of do that by just standing him up on his legs and unfolding that and revealing the robot head. It's the combined head from the get-go, but for the bigger toy, it was just a separate helmet that plonked onto his main head. These kinda look like robot fists, so if these could actually fold, that could have worked. And this power-up center chest thing, which is some gold flashing on it. This is permanently splayed with silver paint. Yeah, he has an extra helmet on his rump. They just had to mold that in there, even though it's already there. But that's not what this is for. This is for the full combined mode into Infinity. Fold those up, clip those back, fold those up, and also an extra detachable joint. I'm not sure what's that for. Just to bulk up the kibble. Yeah, so torso mode. Take Taurus, just face plant him and fold up the legs. Unspread that a bit. There's a little square clicker in here. Same deal with Ares, face plant. Leo, just fold this out, turn around the head 90, open that for a little robo hand, and do whatever you want with the legs. Take Scorpio, fold that 180 just to get it out of the way, fold the claws in, which by the way is molded in a way so that this pin is higher than the other so that this folds in perfectly. Perfectly angular folded legs. That's a very interesting design choice. Fold those claws up in. And fold that around and open his mouth for a actual robot fist. Mini Infinity. Oh, and Ares gets an extra heel spur. You can't swap the arms, but you can swap the legs. Whatever good that does. Yeah, it's very Megazordy, with blatantly 4 robotic beasts that form limbs. Especially 2 robotic beasts that are face planting 90 degrees. Very big clompers without much in style and grace. Without much style and grace. Just big clompers. And the arms are just sideways robot arms that easily detach, like hexagonal ports. Some decent space-filling pillar feet that just dangle there. And the really pitiful thing is that, these lion legs are just dangling. They're just dangling off this thing without anywhere to go. I mean, without anywhere to brush up. Yeah, they're just dangling lion legs. Because on the big Infinity, they actually could, fold up together since they were also functioning as robot arms. But they don't do that. So, more realistic lion arms at the cost of having arms on an arm. That does not look good. And speaking of arm, so he has an actual lion claw Megazord-like thing, except this was also an actual robot hand. Which coincidentally kind of makes it look like he just had a hand in his mouth, like choking on a hand or chewing on it. Now, what about the blazing wings? Are they just doomed to be lost because they were forgotten by the kids? Well, as I mentioned earlier, they coincidentally fit in the back of Leo's leg, so if you do that, you can give Mini Infinity a little arm blade thing in a very awkward angle. It's something. Well, or they can be little scissors. Yeah, little snippet scissors. Although, you know, Infinity should have a giant hammer. You can also put the blazing wings in these little square holes, which also perfectly fit those. Shoulder wings. Continuing the fan moding, I find this is a much cleaner look if you rotate Scorpio's arm like this. Like a full 180 head. So that all the kibbly bits are outward. And he gets a side claw weapon thing. You can't do it with Leo, but I assume you could also kind of do that with the big Infinity. Articulation's also pretty much exactly like a Megazord. Longitude-only legs. 1 click on the back. And 2 clicks forward. And a half. Yeah, nothing on the ways of these or nothing on the ways of knees or thighs. Nothing on the ways of knee or thighs. Nothing in the way of knees or thighs. And the arms are also soft ratchets. And very loose side-to-side wiggle. And nothing at the head. Yeah, this is like a miniature Megazord. Are there even miniature Megazord toys like this that have the exact same articulation? Transformers-wise, bigger than a Voyager. Tobot and Carbot-wise, it is smaller than this leader class size. In comparison to Biclons, yeah, there you go again. And this little guy. With an actual show scale, a little kid, a very big adult-sized robot. This is one set where the individual bots are better than the combined mode. Because with the other young toy Tobot mini combiners, or the big combiners in general, the vehicle modes exist only to be combiner parts, but these are individual characters, so you can have fun with just one of these or a few of these. And the Mini Infinity is just like a miniaturized, scaled down Megazord. Yeah, so this Mini serves its purpose pretty well. Having the main cast in a smaller scale that you or kids can get without breaking the bank. So if you would like to get a hand on these little Biclons or Metalions without breaking the bank, yeah, I would recommend this set. And if you want smaller versions of the duo combiners Arrow, Hurricane, Ghost, Eclipse, there's only the slightly bigger auto changers, which I have, but I'm not getting out of stack storage.
Thanks for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe. So until next time, this is KRBrickBot signing off.